Okay, we are now live. Good morning. I have some problems with my internet again, so hello. I am here. I'm just going to keep my camera off so that the connectivity is okay for you guys. I'll turn it on again a little bit later on. Welcome to Leadership Live number 8. We've been doing these lives for 2 months now. It is Saturday, July 27th. Where has that year gone? It's nearly over now, isn't it? But it is the weekend, so we've that to look forward to. And as usual, at 9:30 a.m. CST, we have a round table discussion on the linguistic aspects of leadership and doing leadership itself. It is now 9:31 CST, so we're doing very well for time. Each week we feature a special guest. Our guests come from a variety of different disciplines. They're all leaders and they're all qualified to talk about leadership and about language. And today our special guest is business coach Karla Siller. You can find her on LinkedIn under the name Karla Siller Ojeda with a J. Ojeda with a J. Say that again.
Karla Siller Coaching.
Karla Siller Coaching. Yes. Okay, and then Instagram as well as Karla Siller Coaching. Perfect. We'll put those details in the description of the event after when we finish, so that you can contact Karla with no problem. Okay, so now the audience, that's you, is part of this conversation. So please join us live, or if you're watching the recordings on my YouTube channel, if you're watching a recording right now, post your comments there. Even though it's not live, we will go in and we'll get back to you. We would really love to have you here though with us. I have to get my stress timing right. We have to have you here though with us, sharing your ideas with us. And sure, we'll even send you a cup of Irish coffee, or better still, a cup of Barry's tea with a drop of Ishkabaha to give it a bit, the water of life, right? So now, what do you need? Well, actually, what do we all need at some point? It's what we talk about every week. We talk about a type of language that few people discuss, because people learning English basically, are learning the 12 English verb tenses, just like in Spanish, right? But we don't have any conjugations in English, so that's not necessary to do. But anyway, they still do it. And for that reason, most people don't even know that this type of language exists. It's like air. You don't miss it until it's gone. Or ishka, the Irish word for water, ishka, loads of it until there's none around. And that's why it may be a bit confusing that in these lives, we put the two together. We put language and leadership together. And I can hear people asking, why? What's language got to do with leadership? Well, listen, at its most basic level, think about it. Did Martin Luther King have a voice? He sure did. And did he take it for granted? He sure did not. It's obvious if you listen to those speeches that he's been doing a bit of work, rehearsing, no? So, that's at the most basic level. And at a higher level, the most effective leaders use it daily with such reflection that we don't even notice that they're there. We don't even notice that they're leading. So leading language for leadership is not just about sounding good. These leaders are masters of assertive communication, expressing ideas and opinions clearly and directly without offending anyone, and getting amazing results at the same time. This is Karla's area, logistics. How do they do it? And, it's not even the boss. Often it's not even the boss that's the leader. It's the guy who couldn't make it to the meeting because of the traffic, but he's actually in a Pilates class, right? So he's set up everything because he knows he set up everything for that meeting yesterday. It's all under control, and there's really no need for him to be there. So these leaders also excel in teamwork. They use language in teamwork, collaborating effectively to achieve common goals, making it look easy, but putting in a lot of effort behind the scenes to prepare, to say things and write things that help the team achieve its goals. And no one notices. These are people who speak with purpose and reflection. These leaders ensure no one is left unheard. They love listening, because the best of them are introverts, and they listen to learn. They learn to lead, and now and they know what they're doing. Rather, when they open their mouths, you guessed it, the language. They use the language you need, the language to lead. Okay, right. After all of that, welcome, Karla, and thank you very much for coming today. I'd like to introduce you. You were born in Mexico City, I think. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
And you're joining us from Acapulco at the moment. I hope everything is okay down there, because they haven't been having an easy time of it recently.
Yeah.
And you are a Mexican businesswoman. You're renowned for your expertise and skills in the financial world and in the logistics industry. You have a solid academic background. You hold a degree in economics, a Bachelor of Science degree from the ITAM, no less. That's true, isn't it? It's you study at ITAM, a marvelous university, and you have a master's degree in finance. Is that? But it doesn't really matter where it's from. But it's probably from the ITAM as well, right? Or did you?
Yes, it
study
is.
that?
It is from the ITAM.
It is. Yeah, that's a very an institution with a very strong numbers background. And these two qualifications have provided Karla with a deep understanding of the economic and financial fundamentals that drive business success. It's what we were saying, it's the stuff that happens behind the scenes that's often, the things that make things work, or a very, very important part. After working for over 20 years in government and financial entities, that's right, you worked in the innovate, I think, didn't you, for a while? Karla entered the business world. You didn't work in Infonavit?
Yes, I did.
You did. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
My last job was Infonavit.
That was your last job with the government, and so you moved from the public sector into the private sector, which must have been a big change, actually. But you landed on your feet because you're a numbers lady. You're a scientist as well, as I am as well. I don't know if you knew, I started life as a vet. So I love the sciences. I studied all of the sciences in school. Karla currently owns 2 companies. How do you do it, Karla? One in shipping and logistics and another in coaching. I've just had enough. I have my hands full with one, but both of which are distinguished by their excellent service. That's very true. I know that for a fact. Additionally, as a business coach, Karla has helped numerous entrepreneurs and business owners build solid and scalable businesses, motivating and challenging her clients to overcome obstacles and reach goals that once seemed unattainable. Yes, there are moments, aren't there, where this is just not going to work, right? But Karla is passionate. But it's numbers, isn't it? So it has to work. Karla's passionate about sharing her knowledge and experience, as well as helping others achieve success. Her work is especially focused on entrepreneurs willing to succeed in the business world. And so welcome, Karla. Thank you very much. I mean, this is an extremely important topic, because a lot of us. Thanks to you. A lot of us are not really prepared for the numbers side. I think I'm I'm a languages graduate and then a marketing graduate as well. So the numbers in that, and I worked in sales for a number of years, and there's lots of numbers in that, but it's not the same, is it? Administrating a business is different, and you really are passionate about helping people. A little bit like me with helping people learn English, because I suffered so much learning Spanish in the work environment as a manager. It was quite difficult with no classes, and I couldn't find any classes. And I think something similar happened to you. You also had an experience, didn't you, where you there was a moment where you didn't think your business was going to work, right? And you fell out of love with it, I think.
Yes, I did, in fact. Because I think it's very common. It's a very common thing. It's more common than we think, because sometimes problems will arise, and when problems come, then that's the moment that you start to getting frustrated, disappointed, and that's what happened to me. Yeah.
It's inevitable, isn't it, that things will go wrong? And people do tell you, not to set up a business. Why do we do it, Karla? Why? What is it about entrepreneurs? This is my second language school, I think. I swore I would never do it again after the first experience.
Well,
And I did it 10 years later. Well, anyway.
yeah, well,
Why,
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, the question.
yeah, why do we do that? I mean, why do entrepreneurs, why do we do the impossible, you know? Why do we, because it is a bit of an impossible feat, isn't it? Setting up a
I think
business and
we
making
don't
it different.
know. I mean, I think that when we start a business, we are enthusiastic. We are happy to have the business. We see ourselves earning money, and we don't know the problems that we will face in the future. So that's what happened to me when I started my business 5 years ago, the logistics business, the shipping company. I was very happy. I was I thought I had a very good business. I had a very high expectations because I was
Yes.
planning to have a very high profit. And
Mm.
after the pandemics, problems started to come, and I faced a lot of problems. I lost clients. I lost a lot of profit because a lot of
Yeah.
competitors started to take over the market. So my profit started to shrink, and then that's when I started to feel frustrated. I was not
Mm.
prepared for that. I was only hoping for the best, but I was not prepared for the problems
Mm.
that I started to face. So I started to feel very disappointed. And while my business started to have those problems, my team started to feel that insecurity. They
Right.
started to feel nervous about their future because I think I transmitted them that fear
Yes.
somehow. So that's
Yeah.
where communication started to be very important in a business, and they started to feel
Yeah.
very anxious, and we experienced a lot of rotation. So it was just so difficult to keep the business going, and that's why what I
Mm.
think about your question is that sometimes we don't know what we are doing when we start a
Yeah.
business. That's my
Yeah.
answer, I would say.
Yes. I know I made one. Yes, we don't know what we're doing, and maybe that's why we started up, because we are a bit naive, I think, even if we've done it before. I know
Yeah,
one big mistake.
sometimes.
One big mistake. Sorry.
No. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I know one big mistake I made at the beginning nearly destroyed my business, and it didn't, luckily. But it was just it was a bad decision, and I should have consulted. That's very important, isn't it? If it's a decision that you're not sure about or that you're not qualified, you should ask somebody,
Yes.
and you might even know somebody who knows a lot and doesn't charge anything. And even if you do have to pay something, it will be much less than the possible expense of it. You know.
Yeah, of
Um,
course.
what are the most common reasons for entrepreneurs to fall out of love with their small businesses? And is it very common?
Yes, I think it's more common than we would like to be. And
Mm.
well, one common mistake that I see is that people start a business because they want to earn money, and that's it. And they hear
Right.
that maybe going into this business will give them the money that they want, the profit that they want. If somebody tells them that uh, I don't know, this is a very profitable business, then they start uh, their
Mm.
businesses, but they don't have a real passion, a real purpose uh,
Yeah.
for their business, and that's a very common mistake. And people fall
Yeah.
out of love because they didn't like it in the first place. They just wanted the money, and money,
Yeah.
it's a mean, but it doesn't have to be the main purpose. Of course, everybody goes into business because of the money, but money is not the main goal. You have to have a
Exactly.
purpose. You have to have a big why you are doing this. Why,
Yes.
if you struggle in your business, when you started to struggle, you have to think, why do I do this? because I really want to. For instance, you have your school, your language school, because you really enjoy, because you're passionate about teaching, because you want people
Yeah.
to learn what you have to teach,
Yeah.
right?
And something different, something
That's
different. I think we're one of the few schools that teaches pronunciation, for example, among other things, and offer the market something different. So there's a variety of things out there, especially for the higher levels. And that, you're exactly right. That's what keeps me going when things get tough, because
yes,
sometimes it's very,
yes,
very tough. So, well,
and
this is why I'm.
because things are going to get tough,
No,
no
they will,
matter
and
what
they will
business you
again.
are in. Things are going to
Yes.
start getting tough.
Yeah.
So you need to be, you have a vision, you need to have a passion for what you're doing.
Right. That's very important. Yes. Very important. And they say that you need to know the business that you go into. And luckily, I do know language schools and language teaching stuff. Did you know about logistics before you went into it? You are a very
Not
logical
really.
person. You're not a person.
Not
No, not
really,
really.
not really.
Yeah.
I think that was the first mistake. But I mean, if you don't know exactly, or you're not too familiar with the business you're going,
Mhm.
of course, it's better if you know about what you're doing. But if you don't know, you can always learn. But
Sure.
passion, it's something else. I mean, either you
Yes.
have it or you don't. So
Right.
I think it's better to have the passion for doing something than to have all the knowledge and no passion. You know?
Right. Because the money will run out, but you need that fuel. You need that energy from you, even when there's very little money, to keep
Yeah,
it
that's
going and to
correct.
find solutions, and to keep people enthusiastic and give them a reason to stay working with you, um, and to negotiate with providers and clients and stuff. I was going to say something. You could also partner with somebody, couldn't you, who does know? Couldn't
Yeah,
you?
of course. You can hire
Yeah,
people who know more than you, and that's
yeah,
hopefully you're doing that, because you don't have to
yeah.
have all the answers. You don't have to be an expert in
Right.
everything. You don't have to to solve all the problems. You can always
Mm,
build a team. You can always partner with someone who knows what you need to know. You can always educate yourself. But
hmm.
again, it's something that you need to have a purpose. You need to have a why you want to
Yeah.
do this.
Because today we're talking about enamórate, fall in love again, which implies that you were in love at some stage in the beginning. So what kind of love was that? Was it superficial, not really, or was it something deeper with a purpose? I think is kind of what you're saying. So you need to find that if you don't have it. It
Yes,
is
yes,
there. There is definitely a reason that they did it. You can find a reason
yes,
besides money, can't you? Um,
yes.
or what is that money for? That could be the purpose. But
That, yeah, that's
it's
correct. Maybe it's
yeah.
because you want to give your kids a better life,
Mm,
because you want to travel the world or whatever you. But you have
yeah.
to see that, and also if you can find a purpose for the people you're helping with your business, that'll be great.
Mm,
Because if you see your
of
clients, if
course.
you see your customers succeeding, thriving in their,
Yeah.
for instance, you in, uh, they are learning, they are uh,
Yes.
getting a better level of English or whatever, then
Yes.
you start to feel satisfied. You start to feel uh, very, very happy, and
Yeah.
that can be
Fan.
your purpose as well.
Yes. That's right. Of course, the purpose can have different elements to it, and of course, I suppose you could have a personal purpose, right? And you could have a company purpose, couldn't you? But you want to be careful, I suppose, that the two are aligned with each other, I suppose, or maybe they
Yes,
don't.
yes.
Yes. Uh-huh.
The values of your company, the values of
Mm,
your business have to be aligned with your own personal values
yeah.
in order to be congruent,
Mm,
and to do the things that you need to do. Because if your company um, has one purpose and you are in and a different page, you're not going to be able to run your business.
Right. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. So those are some basic things, aren't they? When you set up a company, but not everybody does it. We think, oh, we'll get a mission statement later, or they don't mean anything anyway, right? But missions, vision, mission, purpose, especially purpose, are very important, aren't they?
Yes,
For everybody.
and they are not only important for you as a business owner. It is very important to be able to communicate this vision
Yeah.
to all your team, and that's where communication starts to be relevant. Because even
Yes.
if you are alone in your business, the moment that you hire one person to help you, this one person has to be able to understand whatever you want your business to go. He or
Yes.
she has to be able to pursue the goals that you set for your business. So communicating that, it's not because a lot of companies, they have their values and their vision and their mission
Yeah.
in the walls, and nobody cares about it. Nobody.
Right. Yeah. Because
And I
that's your
mean, they
culture.
yeah, but to really build a culture within your business, you need to be able to be a good leader. You need to be able to, and for to be a good leader, you need to first of all have clarity. First of all, you
Yeah.
need to know what you want, and that sounds very simple, but some people, some business owners, they don't know what they want, or
Yeah.
when,
Well,
where they
yeah.
want to go. So
Oh,
if
yeah.
you
You
have
should
that
definitely know where you
clarity,
want to go. Yes.
yes, you have to have that clarity in your head in order
Yeah.
to be able to communicate it with your team.
Because you might not have all the answers, and I do say that to people on the team sometimes. Say, listen, I don't have all the. I will, I will. We're trying this out, and I'll have the answers next week or in a month or something like that. But I do at least. I know that generally what direction we're going in. It's very clear what
Yes.
direction we want to go in. That is very
You might
important.
not, yeah, that's very important. You may not know the how, but you know
Yes.
the where and the
Hmm.
why. No, it's
Yes.
that's very important. You know where you want to go, where you want to be in 2 years, in 1 year.
Mm.
The only thing is, maybe right now you don't know how you're going to get there, and
Yeah.
your team is going to help you to get there. But first of all, you need to
Yeah.
know uh, where you want to go, and that's a very important thing.
And you need to put that into words. You need to tell them, I think, don't you, the team, in an
Yes.
inspiring way, in an exciting way, get them excited about it, even though it is probably terrifying for everybody involved. And you also need to be authentic, I think, don't you? That's very important, isn't it? To be authentic in your language and your communication, because
And
people don't
congruent.
trust people. Nobody will trust you if you're not. I mean, I don't trust anybody who isn't authentic. I'm sure you don't either.
No, yeah, of course, authentic and
Hmm.
also congruent,
Yes, that's true.
because
Yeah.
sometimes you say something to your team and you say, you know what, we are going to
Mm.
do this and this and this, and
Yeah.
you don't do anything, and you
Yes. Very
you
common.
don't uh, whatever you say, you don't do it, then your
Yeah.
team is not going to commit. They are not going to trust you in a
You're not
way.
trustworthy.
Yeah. So
Indeed.
that's
Mm.
that's very very important to be congruent, to be, of course, authentic, and to be clear, because
Mm.
sometimes we know what we want, we know what we are, what where we can go, or where we
Yeah.
want to go, and in the future, but we are not able to communicate it, and we are not able, we don't say anything, or we don't explain the
Oh,
things,
yes.
or we are not clear enough. So
No,
that's
it's very
something that
important
we
to
have
fill
to
people in. And if you don't know something, say, listen, I don't know the answer to this, but bear with me. And yeah, as you say, to be congruent, to be consistent. And if you're not being, listen to your team, right? Because they will tell you if you're not being consistent, I suppose. No, they certainly
Of course.
always have, and in the past, all the teams I've had in the past, and now, they do point it out. So you have to listen to them and admit if you are being inconsistent, because we're not robots, no, we're humans. So sometimes we are inconsistent.
That's true, because what we said before, you need to build a team that complements you. That is that know things that you don't know.
Yeah.
So
or have competencies you don't have, they might be very patient, for example.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do that, then you have to trust the people that you hired to do the things that need to be done. And if they have ideas, and I think a healthy business is one that allows people to give their ideas, to express their opinions, and that's something that's very important too.
Very, very important. Yeah, very important. And everybody needs to recognize each other's weaknesses and each other's strengths, I think, because there will be conflict, and it's really important to have respect for each other, right? Because things can get very difficult and emotional even sometimes, and people don't think clearly, right? When we're being like that, and when we are that way, and I think it's very important to have a fundamental base of respect, and to go back to that, because yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was want to tell you that human relationships are complex, are difficult sometimes, and the thing within a business is that you have to be very clear about the expectations that you have for the people. Every team member has to be sure about what's expected from them.
Yes.
And they have to be something that I also give my customers is our tools to measure, tools to a scorecard to keep a record of their performance, so that in every moment, not only you as a business owner, but also every team member knows how they are performing. And that gives a lot of transparency within a business.
And accountability as well.
Yes, yes. And that it gets, not only gives clarity and transparency, but also it takes out the subjective part of or judgment, or the facts are there. You have a scorecard. You are, you have your scores, your own scores, and that's something it's out of discussion. And the only discussion that we're having is how you are going to improve, or how can I help you to get the results you need to get. But it's not something subjective that we are discussing, and you say you didn't do it and I say you did. So it's very, very important to have this kind of measurements in your business.
For sure.
That's part of the communication. That's part of the strategy for a business to be successful.
That's right. And people need to be able to talk about numbers, this numeracy. One thing is understanding them, but another thing is actually talking about the numbers and speaking the same language, right? In order to make decisions. But I suppose that comes with the tools, right? You train the business owner and possibly some of his team or her team on how to talk about these reports, for example, how to read them and how to explain them.
Yes, I help the business owners to take control of their business. take control of their finances, to keep and build a strong team. I help them with their sales, to increase their sales too,
right. Yes.
and also with some innovation tools. But the main tool that I give them is a methodology to have these reports, to build these reports and keep track of them every week,
Yeah.
every single week.
Or
So
every
that,
day, depending on the time of year.
yeah,
Maybe.
even every day, but at least once a week, you
Yeah.
keep track of all the things that need to be done. And that's the only way a business can go back in track, and
Sure.
you can take control of your business again.
Exactly, because the days pass, don't they? And then the weeks, and then suddenly the semester is over, and then the year is over, and you're posting a loss.
Yes,
Because
that's correct.
it's day by day, isn't it? It's hour by hour, day by day. It's the stuff that we do, the little stuff that counts. So these seem like easy solutions, are they?
Well, they are not easy. They sound easy. They are simple,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
they are not easy whatsoever,
Yeah.
because it depends on the business. I mean, you have to know also when you have this frustration or disappointment, you need to know where you're standing right now. If your
Yes.
problem or the source of your disappointment is because of your finances, or is it
Yeah.
because of your team, or maybe
Right.
you don't have enough sales, or maybe, I don't know, there are many problems that can arise in a
That's
company. But
interesting.
depending on the source of your pain, that's where,
Mm-hmm.
but you need to identify where is your pain. Maybe it can be
Yes.
more than one thing,
Sure.
but you need to understand, to identify where the problem comes from, and then from there you need to start working on this,
Mm.
on the solutions. And also it's important to seek for help.
Yeah.
As I told you before,
For
nobody
sure.
has to know all the answers. So
Yes.
it's like in a marriage, right? If
Yeah.
you have a spouse and you start to fight, you're not going to divorce at the first fight. So
No.
you start to you want to fix things first, and you go to therapy or whatever. And it's the
Yeah.
same with a company. If you start to have problems, you just don't quit and
Yeah.
leave your customers hanging, right? you
Yeah.
you you try to fix things, and if you can't fix them, you with your team, then you can always seek for help. And that's where I'm I I'm
You
coming
come in.
to help. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's where a business coach can be very helpful, because a different
Mm-hmm.
perspective can give you um, uh, another
Completely.
vision of yeah, another way of solving problems. I give them tools, and also the accountability that you said before. It's very important to keep track of your progress, to keep doing the
Yeah.
things day after day after day, and have somebody who's accountable
Yeah.
for that.
That's right. You sleep easier at night as well. If you know, if
Yes,
you
of
finish
course.
the day knowing that everything's gone under control, But yes, something that you said there made me think. Yes, the sticking with it. It's funny just making that decision to stand by what I want to do and stand by the project is very motivating in of itself. I mean, on
Yes.
one hand, you have to do it if you want it to work, and on the other hand, that can often be enough. I think it can sometimes be enough to give the person the reason, to keep going with it, because that's a big. I think that's a big what I mean, is that a big part of what you do, Karla, is to get the people to love their business and to be convinced by it, and then to work on the solutions. Is that how it works?
Yes, that's how it works. And
Mm.
sometimes
Mm.
you have to do small changes. You cannot, I mean, you cannot solve all the problems in 1 week or in 2 months. You need to start doing, like, taking small steps. But sometimes with small changes, you can get big results.
Oh, completely,
It's
yes.
it's just a matter of prioritizing which
Hmm.
step are you going to do first. What is the main problem that I have to solve, and to start. I mean, you just need to start taking action,
Yeah.
and keep taking action day after day, week after week, month after month. That's that's a challenge because we tend to procrastinate, or we tend to
Yes.
be very enthusiastic at the beginning, and then, oh, you know
Right.
what, I have a lot of work, and your day to day takes over, and then you
That's
don't.
the problem with leadership in general, isn't it? It's
Yes,
quite difficult. It requires a lot of persistence. It sounds
persistence,
very nice on
persistence.
courses and stuff,
Yes,
but you actually have to put it into practice. And it's the same with learning a language, or similar to with learning a language. There are some days where you feel it's not going. You're not going to ever. I remember days when I thought I will never ever speak Spanish. And of course I
and
did
now
eventually.
see,
And now I
yeah,
do.
now look at you. You,
And you do have it. I'm a storyteller. I just recite. I write poetry in Spanish as well. But
yeah,
you do
wow.
eventually get there if you stick with it and you work at it and you love it and you're motivated. You will get there eventually. That's the way,
Yes,
isn't it? It's like saving a reserve of money. The compound interest, it builds up in a positive way.
yes,
Or in the credit card, it's same thing but negative. Little
yeah,
by
it's
little.
exactly the same thing. And if you have
Mm,
someone who can be helping you do that, and keeping track of your progress,
yeah.
and help giving you tools, and also being accountable for whatever you're doing, and that's really a good way
Yes.
to thrive and to
Like a boss.
fall in love again with your business.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And part of it, it's like a boss. I was thinking, Karla. You as a business coach are a little bit like a boss, and that is actually then you're not alone. Because often I think entrepreneurs are alone.
Yes, it's a
And
very lonely journey, a
yeah,
very lonely one. If, even if you have a partner, I mean, sometimes
yeah.
even if you have a partner, but I don't have one, so sometimes
Hmm.
I felt I was completely alone, and and I thought that my background or the experience that I had before was enough to to manage a
Interesting.
business, and it's not
Yeah.
always the case. I mean, there
No,
are a
because there's
lot of
emotion.
complexities and a lot of things
Yeah.
that you need to, not only the experience, but also you need to to have more than that sometimes, and you need
Yeah.
someone to just even exchange ideas. And what I do as a
Completely.
coach, it's like if I'm in a board, part of your board, your
Hmm.
board of directors, and
Yes. Exactly.
it's somebody who can give you, like, um,
A
another
consejero
perspective.
delegado.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
And you could, yeah, a kind of an external objective view, but also who also has an interest in how things are going. Yeah, I mean that is crucial. I've started doing that a lot over the years. Asking certain people, because one of the advantages of working in the corporate world, if any of the people who are watching this have done that before setting up your business, is that you have all of these people from the other jobs that you used to have, very competent, and I don't think that they would mind speaking to you for half an hour on the phone or going for a cup of coffee and giving you some advice, but on specific things. We often
Yes,
forget about our contacts, and then
yes,
plus the business coach as well, of course. you know. But there might be a certain situation that I don't know, it's something technical about it, you know. There might be a publishing issue, you know, so I would ask somebody that I know from publishing, or you know.
Yes,
I think that's the thing, whether it's your coach or some kind of expert. I think we are very reluctant to ask people, aren't we, at the
we are,
beginning.
and
Mhm.
it's I mean, I think people are, what I've experienced and what I've seen is that people are always happy to help.
Mm.
And maybe you're not going to ask any stranger, but I mean, if you have
No, no,
a,
yeah, an
group
expert.
of people,
Mm.
friends, or even in networking environments, you can ask people for help, and people is going to really, you will be
Yeah,
surprised how eager people are to help uh, somebody who
yes,
needs their help. Yeah.
that's very true. Yeah, that won't be the problem. I mean, they might even, when you contact them, they might think that you're looking for money, right? And they'll be relieved when you're just in inverted commas asking for advice. But I think that advice is probably more valuable than the money in a way, you know.
Yes,
I'm
of
sure
course.
that I'm sure that not asking for advice has cost me millions of pesos, definitely at the beginning,
Yeah, me too.
for
If
sure.
I knew
Yeah.
all the things that I know now, and if I had
Hmm.
someone from the beginning, I had a coach. I had a coach
Oh,
because, yeah,
uh-huh.
I didn't finish telling you my story, but I mean,
Oh,
when
yes,
the
yes.
things
Continue with the
started to
story.
go, when things started to go very, very bad, I
Mm,
surrendered, and I said, you know what, I need somebody who helped me doing this, because I mean, this
good for
is
you.
this is so tough. And I
Hmm.
hired a coach, and it was, she was my friend. I mean, we used to work the same environment, and
Hmm.
she helped me. She was not a business coach exactly, but she was like a life coach. But she knew a lot
Okay.
about business, because she worked in the corporate world as well, and she helped me a lot. And maybe I knew more things than her about my business, of course,
Yeah.
but that's not the point. The point is that she gave me another perspective. She gave me um, uh, like a method of working, and she was my accountability partner. And
Right.
with her help, I started to fix all the things that I needed to fix. And that's why I started to be a coach myself, because
Yeah.
I saw the results. I saw what she did with me, and I said, wow, I want to do this, because I know, now I can help people. Now I've gained a lot of experience after all those years being an entrepreneur myself, and
Mm,
also because of the my uh, previous experience
yeah.
in the finance and corporate world. So that's why I started being a coach. So
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
just,
That
the help
happens
is
a lot.
there. So
Uh-huh.
it's just a matter of, you know, be brave enough to say, you know what, I need your help.
And realize that there is quite a lot to learn, and different things, psychology, finance. There's hard skills and there are soft skills as well, right?
Yes, yes,
Um, I suppose you have a specific list of things that need to be covered. No, I don't know if there's 7 or 6 areas or something that need to be
yes,
mastered,
yes,
and some of us master some more than others, right? So
yes. Of
that's
course,
part of the, yeah.
I work with mindset. I work with
Mm,
sales, with
yeah.
all the financial topics within
Mm,
a company. I work with the process, building
yeah.
processes, with innovation, also with building a team. And for bigger companies, I work with them in order
Uh-huh.
for them to help them scale, to help them scale,
Yes.
and to have like this methodology where they can um, build a complete different culture, to
Yeah.
permeate the culture, the company's culture within the within all the team. So that's what I do.
Yeah.
And of course, there are a lot of tools that I can give my customers in order to be able to accomplish that.
That's brilliant. Just to finish up, you say normally that in 6 months, on average, you can get a business back on track. Did I understand right? And
Well,
its owner as well.
mm, well, it's not that in 6 months
Mm.
you're going to get your business back in track. In 6 months, I'll be able to give you the tools,
Yeah.
and it will depend on the business, because there are business that they have just a little thing to fix, and so
Yeah.
maybe in 3 months they can be back on track. But
Hmm.
sometimes the majority of the businesses, they have to not only know the tools, they need to practice those tools, and
Yeah.
to and in order to be able to change things, they need to practice this, and they need to do a certain things after they receive the tools. So
Mm.
it will depend on the business. In 6 months, I'll be able to give you all the tools if you need. But if you need to, for instance, your sales, maybe you don't have enough sales, and I can give you a sales uh, course, or I can
Hmm.
teach you what you need to know, and we will create a strategy for you to sell more. To, but but maybe
But the
that
results are
strategy
later.
but maybe that strategy will take you several months to
Yeah.
really start uh, seeing results. So it will
Yes.
depend.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I suppose that one big thing that must happen a lot, Carla, is that we have to unlearn and unbelieve, things that we believed and thought were true or knew before, because they didn't work, right? Those beliefs, those ways of doing things. So we have to unlearn, and that might be difficult for us. We might resist that, and then we need to learn how
Relearn.
to relearn, develop a new habit, which is not easy at the beginning. So that's
No,
why it takes some
sometimes,
time.
yes,
Hmm.
yes, that what you said is completely correct. Sometimes it's easier to teach or to work with people who are starting their businesses than
Hmm.
to work with people who have a lot of experience and they have very big companies, because they think they know it all, and they think
Yes.
they will not benefit from your experience, or that maybe you don't know enough of their businesses. Of course, they are expert
Yeah.
on their businesses. It's not that I'm an expert on their businesses, but it's just that when you don't know anything, it's easier to learn
It
uh,
is. Yes.
from the beginning. Yes, that's correct. But
It,
yes,
it can be. Yes, it can
but
be. But then also having previous knowledge helps because you already have some basic ideas maybe and stuff, which it's different pros and cons, no? But yeah, definitely in terms
yes,
of habits, I suppose it's
the
easier because
attitude
you
of the
don't.
people. Yeah,
Yeah,
it all depends on the attitude that the
you must
coachee
get
has.
resistance. Do you get
Yes, the
resistance
resistance.
sometimes from the coaches? Yeah. Mhm.
Yes, yes, that's correct.
That is part of it, isn't it? Yeah,
Yes, of
because it's
course.
something new. Yeah,
Yes,
but but um, but I suppose in the end of the day, it's a process that we're going through, no, as business owners. That it's like a duelo or something, kind of a grief, no, that we're letting go
yeah,
of the old way of
and
doing
we as the business owners, we have to be humble enough to see, you know,
things.
my ideas, my strategies didn't work. So I
or they
might
did
as
in the
well,
past.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So why not give these other ideas a try?
Yes.
Just it's just a matter of being open to new ideas and new
You're
strategies.
so
And
scientific, Karla. It's great. It's a breath of fresh air.
yes, yes.
But I mean, not everybody thinks that way. That might be an issue as well, actually. That to get people thinking scientifically, because it's that you do this, and you add this, and then this happens, you know. Um, and that's
Well,
often sometimes how I look at learning. I look at learning like that as well, and it is sometimes like that. Often it's like that. Learning something, you can plan and you can actually assess and say, today they learned X, but it doesn't always work that way, And a boss of mine said once that don't be afraid to go out of the plan, because he observed me and I was putting on a show almost for him when really it was a class, So there was something interesting that happened that I could have taken advantage of and capitalized on and brought the class in a different direction. So you don't always have to stick with your lesson plan as well. That's the thing, isn't it? I tend to stick with the plan because I'm kind of scientific, and if the plan doesn't work, then we'd make another plan. But in business, I don't think there's enough time for that. Is you right? Or you
yeah.
can't wait until
The thing is that you can do another. You can have always a plan B, but the thing is that sometimes, whenever you have a plan and it doesn't work, then you lose money. And that's the only thing
exactly.
that's the problem. You can always have a plan B or C or
Mm.
D, but the thing is that
Oh
every
yes,
failing
exactly.
plan has its consequences. So that's why
You need
it's good.
scenarios, right?
Yes.
Scenario A, scenario B, and then as an ex-boss of mine used to say,
Here you are. Here you are. I was
are
I
you
was
still
more
with us,
confused.
Karla?
I thought we were just over the time, and
There you
here,
go.
here we
I
are.
can.
Yeah.
I'm back.
But I'm glad to see you again.
Yes, I'm sorry about that. I've been having problems with my internet since yesterday. Well, listen, Karla, thank you so much for that session, because I think we have a very clear idea now of what to do if we're in this situation, And next week we'll be developing our pluricultural competency. Our special guest will be our expert on civilisation française, mais oui, Patricia Guadarrama, and she'll be telling us what we can learn from French leaders, because apparently they have their own special brand of leadership in France, and the French language is apparently an important part of it. So that's going to be next week. If you would like to contact Karla, remember I'm going to put her contact details in the description, and she is on LinkedIn and Instagram primarily. Isn't that right, Karla? That's the
Yes,
best
that's
way to
correct.
get you.
Yes,
And I
yes.
might put an email address as well in the info. So and then with Dara Diomas, the language for leadership, we have our summer courses at the moment. Please contact us to find out more about those. We have our clinic, our storytelling clinic, our active listening clinic, and we're starting today actually a new module of our diploma leadership success for directors. And there is also material that goes along with these lives every month. So we are now at the end of a month. We publish self-study reflection material so that you can put into practice, you can reflect and put into practice yourself the ideas that are coming out of these lives. These guests are real experts. I'm so grateful, Karla, for your time,
Oh, thank you for
because
having me. Thank you.
it's unusual to meet a finance person. There are very few of you. I wonder why that is. Why are numbers so difficult for people?
I don't know, but we are a lot of people in the finance world. It's just
Of course you are, yeah. Of course you are, yeah. But it's yeah. I suppose maybe it's the kind of business I'm in, maybe the education. There are fewer of them, fewer of you. If you work in a bank, it's a different thing. Yeah. Well, have a great weekend, Karla, and enjoy
Thank you.
Acapulco.
Thank
I
you so
hope
much.
everything is okay down there. What's the situation? Is it looking better? Are they rebuilding fast, or are they having problems with that?
Barely. I mean, they're they're taking. I mean, it's being tough, and sometimes the progress. I don't see much progress, to be honest,
Mm.
in some buildings, but I mean, little by little, I think the economy is starting to
To pick up. Hmm.
to pick up. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, we should all go down to
it'll take.
Acapulco.
I think it'll take a couple of years. I think to
Yeah.
get normal again.
Yes, yes. I think that's what happened the last time. 2000. When was the last one? The last hurricane was 2008, I think, and it did take a couple of years to get back on track.
Yes.
So, but they are resilient. They're persistent, just like entrepreneurs and just like your coachees, right? And
That's correct.
all right. Well, thanks, Karla. Have a great weekend, and
you.
thank you very much, those of you watching. And don't forget to post your questions in the comments box. Okay. Un abrazo. Have a great weekend.
Thank
Bye.
you. Gracias.
Bye.
Adiós.